I've scoured the map of Grand Theft Auto 4 to find some of the most interesting and overlooked details hiding in plain sight. All of it was a real pain in the rear to edit because GTA 4 kept crashing. But there's lots to see in the scaled down Apple, and in this video we'll cover only a fraction of Liberty City's most obvious secrets. These are the most overlooked details in Grand Theft Auto 4. As usual, I want to show you the things that interest me the most, from bigger, more eccentric details to the tiny mundane details that you are only meant to see at the corner of your eye. Some of these I'm sure you've seen before, but others will definitely be a surprise. It's only appropriate to start exactly where it all began. Hove Beach is home to many points of interest: Roman's apartment, Comrade's bar, the 69th Street Diner, and Firefly Island. Let's begin with Firefly Island, where there's a few interesting details that I'd like to show you. The first of which is this map of Firefly, which can be found in a couple of spots, and it shows an early beta image of the amusement park. There are a few notable differences here, like this ride that was completely missing. The ride next to it has moved over slightly, and this building used to have some gubbins on the roof, but it was removed in the final game. I think most interestingly, the train tracks in the background have swapped orientation. Here, the outside track goes over the top of the other, while in the final game, it runs lower than the other track. I'm sure I'll also get a virtual kick in the twins in the comments if I don't at least mention the most well-known Easter egg here, the San Andreas ride. This was also a different color earlier in development. One thing I can't not talk about is the mini golf course, because they had absolutely no reason to do what they did. Most of the holes on this course, in addition to looking rather phallic, also contain references to previous games. From San Andreas, there's the world's largest cock, that's the bird, YouTube, and a windmill from one of the farms. Sculpture Park also makes an appearance here. Glen Park is also recreated here, which is a weird addition, but a welcome one. And there are also some Los Santos-style bridges from San Andreas that have been recreated too. And from Vice City, we have the lighthouse from Ocean Beach, and the location we're going to be revisiting soon, the Ocean View Hotel. This homage is both neat and strange, since they didn't have to do any of this. It would be foolish of me not to take a trip down to memory lanes. This bowling alley is one that most of us have probably been to, but there are some smaller things that I'd like to show you that you may have never seen, like this weird little sign. Take a roll down memory lanes. It's unforgettable. Also, did you know slurping sprunk relieves stress and anxiety? Suppose you better get chugging. All of the bowling pins here have a red Rockstar logo on the front, something they like to do all over this game. At the front door, you'll usually find someone behind the counter, usually with a 1,000-yard stare. Behind them is this signed shirt from a bowler called Billy Bob. An identical shirt is also pinned haphazardly to the wall further inside. These golden plates have seen better days, but they're engraved with this Rockstar Games crest that, as far as I can tell, only really appeared on these patches and on the Rockstar website. It's a very cool design though, and not one that I expected to show up here of all places. These are the kinds of details that make me wonder who's taking the time and effort to put something like this in when they could have just used the Memory Lanes logo, or nothing at all. Another fun detail that's been covered before, but I enjoy anyway, would be the tills that are used all over the game. If it's an electronic till, it will be this one. The screens all say the same thing, so really we're knocking out like 100 combined details here, you're welcome. This is the Magic POS system, version 1. Apparently the person logged in is Captain Brendan, I'm certain that's an E. As for the buttons, we have douche, piss, lager, beer/other, gin, whiskey, what I think says Glencoe, which is a village in Scotland, no-go vodka, AK-47, house, and wine. If someone could explain the difference between happy number 1 and happy number 2, it would be greatly appreciated. Then of course the obligatory fire, mode, GTA, WTF, main, and abort buttons you'll find on any normal retail unit in real life. Also 420. This device is branded Cash Star, written in GTA's standard price down font. Over in the corner sits a mini burger shot with a mini burger shot employee, and it's a great place to get a look at the menu. You've got the torpedo meal for only $6.66, the money shot meal, the meat-free meal, the bleeder meal, and the all-new Heartstopper 6-pound burger. This burger may kill you. We can't be held responsible. And remember folks, clean hands, clean conscience. Next, I want to head back into Firefly proper to introduce you to Johnson's. We're all dreaming of a bite of a nice big Johnson. I can only imagine the people in this artwork are real people from Rockstar, or people that they know, as this guy is wearing a New York Yankees cap. The style is reminiscent of older GTA artwork, and they are all indeed dreaming of a nice big sausage. That's not all for Johnson's, home of the wiener, as this building was clearly shown extra love by the team working on it, as it's pretty detailed. Home of the famous Johnson Eating Contest, get something meaty in your soft buns. We're hot dogging all year round. Seafood, our speciality, plus frankfurters and freedom fries served inside. Try our clams. That's Johnson's, the place to get crabs. Around the building they've placed artwork of a hot dog pig and a cow burger, and I love it. Now I have to be honest, I looked through Roman's apartment and I couldn't find much of interest. Besides the classic banana skin on a plate, and the unholy amount of beans for one man. And that's right, he's got more beans on the shelf, ready to go. These are likely his backup/emergency beans. Next to the picture of Mallory besides his grimy fold-out bed is a bottle of no-go vodka. Its alcohol by volume, or ABV, is 100%. We know Roman is a bit of a drinker, and we also know how he tears himself up over Mallory. So having these two things beside his bed really paints an overall picture of Roman. Across the street is the infamous Comrades Bar, frequently visited by Vlad before his untimely and wide passing. He is clearly missed as photos of him are placed around his favourite table. You are indeed a big boy, Vladdy. That's nothing though compared to the rest of these details that you may not have noticed. There's of course a pool table in here, nothing too special. But the blackboard is what really caught my attention. Nick the Greek, Mikey Pissroll, Anal Allen, and Argos Steve all have their names written down. They sound like a good group. There's a picture of someone here on the wall, and it was taken just over here by the front door. I wonder if he's one of the pool guys. The jukebox in the corner has a few CDs on display, and I've always liked to look at the CDs and movies they put in the game. It really adds to the world building, and they can be pretty funny. In here we have Funk in Time by Rudy Fontaine, an original song created for Lips 106 in Liberty City Stories. It's referenced here in CD form as well as in GTA 5, and you can even get it as a ringtone in GTA 4 on VIPLuxuryRingtones.com. All of this is also true for Feel the Pain by Purser, sometimes referred to as Take the Pain. It was made for the same game, but it appeared on Head Radio instead. OG Lokes Straight from the Streets is here alongside Mad Dog's Still Mad album. Two artists, of course, straight from San Andreas. Though in this universe, OG Loke clearly must sound different to this.
I'm the man in the place. Punch you in the face. A gun in my waist. It's low, baby.
Yikes. Behind the bar, under the booty pic addressed to Vlad, are these two Vice City postcards that say greetings from Vice City. Wish you were here, you tosser. And wish you were here, you mug. I am also contractually obliged to point out the $69 bills featuring the Vinewood girl from San Andreas. These can also be found in bars in GTA 5. There are some newspaper clippings here too, such as 2 Dead in Shootout, Immigrants Live in Fear, Warehouse Looted, and Witness Will Not Testify. These are all very specific clippings, all alluding to the fact that this bar is frequented by many criminals, mostly Russian mafia. So a Rockstar artist went in and decorated this bar with these trophy newspaper clippings. With this in mind, we can see that there's a lot of Russian items hung up around the bar, like these sports banners for Red Mist and Super Stroika, and these pictures of some Russian buildings and big strong Russian bear. Also, seals, With this being a Russian bar, there's of course a lot of Russian text around that I can't read. So with the help of Google Translate, I am now going to read some of the Russian text around the bar. This image of a woman says ugly in Russian, and this one apparently says pierced. There are more photos, but they don't have any text. These posters are also pretty neat. This one I spent a solid 1 minute trying to translate, and as far as I, Google Translate, can tell, it's high-class performance. Singer Sofachka Sapphire, I definitely got that wrong. The middle one is sponsored by Cherenkov, the vodka that can be found right down there. I hate this country. Fights without rules. Russia versus USA. Book here for May 16. At the bottom it says, the delightful, dazzling Sylvester Lanzar. The last one just says, don't talk. Tacked onto the side of this building is a billboard for chiropractic overnight. The power to paralyze pain in 24 hours. Launch a new career at chiropracticovernight.com. Just $99 or your money back. As is true for any web address you find, this can be visited on the internet in-game. Let's crawl across the street now to grab a bite at the 69th Street Diner. Why not dine at the 69? I can think of a couple reasons. Inside, it's just a typical grimy diner with grimy clientele. Just look at the state of that. As for the menu, most of the, shall we say, dishes served here have an image to accompany them. The meatloaf, the chicken dinner, the pizza, the fucking steak and fries, which is just steak and fry? It's pure nonsense, but these are exactly the kind of images you'll find in many real-life diners, cafes, and other, shall we say, amateur restaurants. Also, there's the breakfast menu, which has 3 out of the 4 prices end in 69 cents, as do the meatloaf and the pizza, which would be a pretty standard joke, but this is the 69th Street Diner, so it kind of has a double meaning? Behind the counter, there are some products behind some glass that I'll get to right after we check out Choco Rings. Just add your milk. Oh, and it comes with a free toy. And next to that is some juice with chunky bits, and it seems to be apple, unless... Delicious cheap juice made from the scabbiest oranges and full of flavorings and artificial colors. And scabbiest and artificial are spelled wrong. They clearly just modified some orange juice here, and I find that quite interesting. Okay, back to the other bits. Between 2 different colors of milk that both claim to be full fat is this lager beer with the Rockstar logo on it. Lager is usually found in bottles, if I'm not mistaken, so I'm not sure how common this is. And then there's the fake Iron Brew can, which is a favourite in Scotland, called Ginger, that just so happens to feature some artwork from GTA 3 on the side of the can. This is of course a member of the Uptown Yardies. In the fridge, I found one of the many flavours of kumpots, as well as raspberry ripple and chocolate chunk cherry popper ice cream, with a red cherry for the first and a brown cherry for the other. You may not have noticed, but there's also a TV up here, showing mostly static, but there is an image that flashes here every now and then. I can't quite make out what it is, but I do know that it's sexy. Moving away from that general area now, onto the laundromat. There's not too much of interest here, unless you want to win 25 grand with Sprunk, or you smoke cock, brand cigarettes. I did however find a box of jizz, which made me happy. It's appropriately labelled as bio washing powder. Another neat detail I noticed was in the clock, where, you guessed it, another Rockstar logo appears. Let's take a break from the interiors now to look at some details that are much more easily missable, whether it's a funny shop name, an interesting billboard, or a poster on the wall. I'm sure you've never taken the time to check them all. Like the fire escape signs in this game, that all depict a man on fire. Look at him go. I especially like a lot of the random NPC animations that you'll find around the game. You'll find lots of people doing a variety of appropriate actions at appropriate locations. You're seeing a few of these now, and you'll encounter them from time to time as you explore. Even people walking around usually have something in their hands, like phones, MP3 players, and coffees. If my Overlooked Details series shows anything, it's that Rockstar wants their worlds to feel not only alive, but lived in. They want their worlds to have lore, and they've always been able to achieve this for GTA. Here's a sign for Native American engines, the original Liberty City mechanics. We were here first. On the right of the sign, there's a totem pole made out of engines. I thought, now that's attention to detail. On this construction site nearby, there are some small posters hung up quite high, which is definitely the strangest place they could have been put. Either way, there's a poster for Sheet Yo Records. If we ain't signed them, then they ain't she. New albums by Loco Works, Mick Spilligan, Something Makers, Da Earl, K Dills, Lady Boy, Toofy Wonder, and Piggy Smalls. Plus the Smash by Purple, Goldie Hun. And Rappin' Paper, Sheet Yo Records, and Quad present The Hottest MC in LC, $2, Represent Bohan, with support from Bubbles Barkstate and Prop Dookie. I can't tell you what this says, but $2 is releasing his new LP soon. If you can read what it's called, you have a better eye than I do. And how about the Inbred Bakery? It's a family affair. Established in 1869, very nice. This business is just sons, daughters, and cousins working together for you. You even have a nice image of some inbred bread. Delightful. I want to head over to the area around the Homebrew Cafe, as there's a few things I'd like to show you, like this old 24/7 mini-mart. This place is falling apart. It looks like it's been here for decades. On the side, there's some old art with the text, "We cannot please everyone, but we try." Across the street is a demonetization club. There is also a sauna inside, which is a wild combo. If you're looking for a job, they are looking for a jizz mopper. Experience unnecessary. Next is the Homebrew Cafe itself, which doesn't have much of interest inside, at least not for this video. That is besides what looks like some GTA 4 concept art of Northwood on the wall. Here's how the location looks in the final game. I really love when Rockstar puts early images of the game around the final game. It's really neat stuff. Now, this whole part of Beachwood City has quite a few Jamaican-inspired stores and billboards. Here's a quick look at a few that I've found. Nearby is the Highway Tire Company, which out back has a bunch of hubcaps. These are not the same designs that appear on vehicles in-game though. And trust me, I did a fair amount of research, but I don't think these show up that often around the map, so it's fun to find them. Moving further in the island now, I'd like to point out this old ad from Ron Gas, with a very surprised looking pump. This looks very old, like 1950s latest. This is a nice look at Ron's older logo, something we don't get to see for many brands in the series, and I kind of wish we had a lot more. Underneath this sign is one of the many black market weapons dealers across Liberty, and to my surprise there are actually some really great little bits here. There's a few bits of graffiti on the tables, but this one in particular says, "Jez got a big fat head because he sucks too much."
Cock-a-doodle-doo, it's time for chicken. Cock-a-doodle-doo, it's time for a feast.
In the corner of this establishment is a decent amount of gubbins, including these weapons of mass destruction, all of which are not included in this game. There is an MP5 variant, of course, but they've made it look different. These just seem to be images of real firearms. There's a lot of raunchy posters in this joint too, let me tell you. Once you've had fat, there's no going back. Feeders Wives Special. There is a a used Honkers magazine. It comes with free Loop Tube, which is probably long gone. This other Hooters mag has been pinned up and it shows a much more basic logo. The G is cut off at the bottom, but it says, "Get your toss sock." Oh god. There's also the wonderful and not at all off-putting Hard Rider, Cowgal pinups. This is another example of a Rockstar artist reusing the most recognizable font in the GTA franchise for some reason, and honestly, I smile every time I see it, even here. Some effort has even been put into this Chinese calendar, pairing a vaguely Asian-looking woman with some cherry blossom. This is from the very creatively named Dragon Food Supplies. And who could forget Battle Babes? These two may have different hair, but they're doing exactly the same pose. I swear they're the same woman. The astute among you may have noticed the "Clean up after your dog" sign, where the man on the sign is now being taken from the rear. Wonderful work. Strummers are last. I'm not your baby. These women are actually just models, mainly seen in store windows or advertisements. Here, they've just been placed together to make some kind of cool as shit girl band. They do seem to have accurate shadows here though, which makes me think that maybe this could be the original image. and the others are actually just reused. Who knows? Probably someone at Rockstar. The box full of books has some very wonderful ones like Top 100 Chat-Up Lines, now includes date spreadsheet software. Increase your pulling power and fulfill your sexual potential by Max A. Million. And Seymour Cockburn's Undercovers. Sugar Lips and Making Waves were both written by Amber Waves. And then there's Dating for Nerds, How to Swap Binary for Booty, which was also written by Old Mate Max. And Miss Longtime by Cindy Topless sounds like a solid read. This book is called Full Thrust, by the one, the only, Mr. Seymour Cockburn. And on the back is his About the Author section. Seymour Cockburn is the pen name of reformed crime lord Victor Lumboria. Seymour funds a rehabilitation program for released prisoners in his hometown, Liberty City. Running for state office and blah blah load of bollocks, this is just filler. Seymour is a lecturer at Liberty City State University and patron of the Liberty City Opera. This is my third Overlooked Details video for an already released Rockstar game, and here I'm still being tortured by the bad spelling that plagues many of the smaller details in this game. Seeing as we're back to interiors, how about we check out the hospital? You can enter a couple of these in the game, like this one in Schottler and the other one in Westdyke. Like any reputable hospital, this one treats its patients while they're fully clothed and surrounded by filth. For example, there are some newspapers thrown around the floor, which honestly make for some good reading material. Sports pages, win big fight ring seats. Local bum in bid for heavyweight title. Ali Scat's big comeback fight. And down here it says City authorizes new ferry terminal. This one in Alderney has been in a state of fucked for a long time. Earlier looks at the terminal in trailers made it look somewhat operational. If we're ever lucky enough to see Liberty City post 2008, I'm sure that this would have been replaced with a working terminal and that there would be ferries going back and forth. Anyway, back to the hospital. This one is a little balked, however, it does mention everyone's favourite man from the streets, TM, Manny Escuela. There's not too much I can glean from half of its quote though, so let's move on. This one is also a little balked, and it shows the very common Bling King wins front page. Corrupt head of WGA jailed for bull tampering. And who could forget, Super Car Park threatens LC Cathedral with demolition. Maybe the next version of Liberty will replace the cathedral with said super car park. This hospital also enlists the help of medicinal cockroaches, like any good hospital. These are very strange things to put in a hospital, and I'm very surprised that they didn't go all out in making this place a dump instead of just throwing things on the floor and calling it a day. Like this magazine. So? You got yourself burned, huh? STD anger, the fury at the filth. Can you see the signs? Frankly, no. This is a free health magazine from the hospital too. Just look at these logos. Next to that is your standard can of Piss Wasser Lager. At the bottom it says urine. There are lots of medical themed posters on the walls too, and they're about what you'd expect. Time to start talking balls. Find out the facts, idiot. Check yourself before you wreck yourself. If you need a hand, ask a nurse. Today's little people are getting bigger. The facts. 20% of kids today are born 20 kilograms heavier. 86% of newborns are 88% fat. 1 in 10 babies are born with fat hair. 16% of all under 15s are too fat to like. Oh, come on, brother. 6 out of 400 under 12s prefer eating to breathing. 100% of all kids will die at some point in their life. 1 in 737 kids thought exercise was a vegetable. 5% of all kids are too fat to be classed thin. 15% of all kids questioned ate their answer. And 1 in 400 fat kids is actually a fat, little person. This game really is from 2008. Let's stop childhood chunkiness. The Feel Fine factor says, we always need people for medicinal trials. Earn money quick for very little work and minimal deterioration to your health. I did it and I felt alright, I guess. Says Jim, a student. Liberty Health takes no responsibility for any unforeseen illness or death. You may have a disease we've never heard of. Got an illness? Get checked out, get medication. Many countries produce unique diseases. Sometimes we are clueless how to help you. Often the Ebola virus is seen as just a cold. Get checked out now. Got all your own teeth? Get more. Dr. F. Stein. Do you have a fatal urinary defect? Most people can have an FUD without even knowing. FUDs can appear in many forms, and without attention, A FUD can kill. She said being my first time, she wouldn't get pregnant. She lied. Don't be an idiot like this man. Always be safe. Use some protection. He said doing it standing up wouldn't get me knocked up. He lied. Wearing protection is all the style, because you just can't trust a big butt and a smile. And finally, show some respect to our nads. They deserve it. Most of these posters have these two logos at the bottom, and the ones that do were made by the LSD and MSP departmental authorities. The last bits on the wall I want to show you are these oddly high-resolution bits of paper. These are completely legible, and this one talks about the Multics operating system, seemingly from the Department of Defense. How strange. This one looks a little innocuous at first, however, this is from January 19th, 1976. Mr. CIA Mass, 2393 Nowhere Drive, Hopeless, NY 666. So this is a fake New York address. Dear Mr. Mass, examination of your record for the past semester reveals that you earned a grade of F in the course of your major field. Earning a grade of F in your major field occasions withdrawal from a degree program. See page 1024 and page 1 of the University Bible and Handbook. Consequently, you are no longer a candidate for the Doctor of Espionage degree in the Department of Jellies and Jams at Puke University. We regret that this action is necessary and hope that whatever problems or circumstances may have contributed to your lack of success in pursuing your chosen career field will not keep you from a successful pursuit of a productive career. We wish you success in the future and regret that you are unable to complete your chosen program here at Duke, not Puke. Sincerely yours, Almost Top Guy Dean. CC anyone and everyone. Why is this here? I love it. The last one is titled Health and Safety Visits, How to Hide Bad Practices and Unsafe Procedures, which is a fun title in itself. However, the rest of the page is actually an inmate visitation form from the Kansas Department of Corrections. I'm curious as to what led to specifically this ending up in GTA, let alone its hospitals. This has turned into quite the video, and we haven't even made it out of the first island. To top this video off, we'll take a look at a couple more neat locations, like this building in Dukes that's covered in graffiti featuring art from previous games. It does repeat a few times, but it has full 360 coverage. Starting off, we have the original box art for GTA 3, at least in Europe, sandwiched between El Burro and an Uptown Yardie from GTA 3. Plus there's 8-Ball, Kenji Kassan, and Misty, also from GTA 3. One of the twins from Vice City is here too, alongside the PCJ 600 from the game's artwork. I forgot to record this, but Mercedes is here too, behind the trash. OG Loke's original artwork is here from San Andreas, as well as the police Maverick that was used in the cover of that game. On this door on the side it says, paint only with permit. To obtain permit, email paint1@m.com. Weekdays by appointments, weekends 12 until something. The office is located in somewhere. This building is such a neat reference to not only the games that came before, but also the real-life equivalent of this building, which unfortunately no longer exists. Under this bridge sits an auto shop. Nothing too fancy apart from these sweet wheels mounted to the wall. I was mainly interested in what seems to be a render of a car, complete with Liberty City license plates. Now, I don't know if this is a beta car, I don't think so, because it doesn't look much like any other car in the game besides perhaps the Merit. It looks like it could be a very early design, but that's just pure speculation on my part. Another auto shop around the corner though, also uses an image very similar in a lot of ways to the last, but this car is very recognizable as it's an early version of GTA 4's Buccaneer. It still retains its pair of square headlights from the San Andreas version of the car, but looking at the bumper and the overall shape, this is definitely a beta GTA 4 Buccaneer, which is fascinating. Finally, this last auto shop bears an interesting name. This is Obby Auto Mech and Repair. The name is likely a reference to Obby Vermey, the technical director at Rockstar North, who worked on GTA from GTA 3 all the way to Chinatown Wars. He left in 2009 and is now about to release his own game, Plentiful, on Steam. There's also a very low quality picture of a car on the sign, which looks like it could be an early version of the Futo, but I can't be sure. And that's all she wrote, folks. Well, that is until the next time, as I still have far more GTA 4 clips than I know what to do with. GTA 4's map is so densely packed with detail that we didn't even make it off the first island in this video. And it just goes to show the lengths Rockstar will go to make their world feel alive. So, expect more of these videos coming soon for GTA 4, as well as GTA 5, the Saints Row games, and much more. Thank you all for watching everyone, keep it breezy, and take it sleazy.